Hi future officers, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another important revision session where we are going to cover the reports of the month of October 2025. So my dear friends, I hope that I am audible and visible to all of you so that we can start with the today's session. If I am audible and visible, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can resume this particular session, as this session is going to be very helpful for all of you, because it is very important that the reports we see in the last 3 months, they are being asked in the examination, right? So I can see here that yes, I am audible and visible to everyone, and yes, we are good to go with the today's session, right? So guys, once again, welcome to all of you, to all the NABARD future officers. Welcome to EduTap and welcome to your another important reports session for the month of October 2025, where we will be completely revising the important reports from the month of October 2025. So this session is for all those aspirants who are preparing for NABARD Grade A officer exam, and the aspirants who have covered all the reports but they have not analyzed themselves that whether they are able to retain all the important aspects of the reports and indices or not. And if they have, then it will be really a eye opener for them that whether they will be able to answer the questions or not. And the aspirants who have not even touched the reports of October 2025, that let me tell you guys that this session is going to be very helpful for you, because you will be understanding that what exactly are the different dimensions across which we are required to cover these reports and indices, and we will be taking this session in completely in the MCQs format, right? So I want your participation in this particular session, because your participation is really necessary for this particular session, so that you are taking a lot of insights from this session and you are able to see that okay, what is your preparation level for the upcoming NABARD Grade A officer exam. So guys, let's start the session. Before starting the session, so I believe that you have revised the reports of October 2025, right? And let's start. I want all of you to make sure that you are having a plain paper with all of you and you are marking your answers there as well as in the chat box, so that we can see that yes, at the end of the session, what is your score in this particular session, right? And here is the very first question on a very important report, that is a multidimensional poverty index. So my dear friends, with reference to the global multidimensional poverty index 2025, you have to identify that which of the following statements are correct with respect to this report. So guys, whenever you see such kind of question before you, what you are required to do, just follow a 3-step formula. The step 1 here is to identify the central topic of the question. Second step is to identify the demand of the question. Third thing is to analyze the keywords which are mentioned in the statements. Kindly identify whether they are correct or mentioned incorrectly, and then try to give the answer. So here the central topic is global multidimensional poverty index. The demand of the question is you need to identify the correct statements. Sorry. So guys, the demand of the question is you are required to identify the correct statements which are mentioned above, and then here are the key important statements across which you are required to analyze according to your knowledge with the global multidimensional poverty index. The first statement is on the very basic dimension of this report, that is the releasing body, as it is released by OPHI and Human Development Report Office of UNDP. Okay. The second statement is global MPI is computed using 10 indicators covering 3 dimensions, that is health, education and living standards. Third statement is of the global population assessed 2.5 billion people are living in the acute multidimensional poverty. So which of the following statements are correct here? Please tell me. So I can see here Gopika has given me the right answer as option A. Let's wait for other people as well. Let's see what exactly they give as the right answer to this particular question. So my dear friends, you can definitely expect such kind of questions in the examination of NABARD Grade A officer exam. So make sure that you are getting yourself prepared for these kind of questions. Okay. So I can see here that yes, absolutely right. The right answer to this question is option A only, that is 1 and 2 only. Why so? Because the third statement is incorrect. Of the global population assessed, it's 1.1 billion people who are living in acute multidimensional poverty and not the 2.5 billion people. That's why this particular figure is incorrect, and this right answer is option A, that is 1 and 2 are absolutely right to this particular question, right? So according to this report, 6.3 billion people are there in 109 countries. Out of these 6.3 billion, 1.1 billion, that is 18.3%, live in acute multidimensional poverty. Now guys, we have covered it so many times in our previous sessions when we discussed this report, that how to remember that what are the different dimensions of the report. I told you that if you are living in a multidimensional poverty, if any person is living in a multidimensional poverty, then the person's life is like hell. Why so? Because the person is living in the multi-dimensional poverty, right? That means that person is basically lacking so many important basic necessities of the life, which is really responsible, which is really required in order to spend a good quality life, right? So here H stands for health, E stands for education, and L stands for living standard. Absolutely right. Good evening, Dream Master, and all other people who have joined us right now for the today's session. Yes, option A is the right answer to this question. And let's see these three dimensions in a detailed manner so that we can see that yes, what exactly these are. So let me tell you here that there are total 3 dimensions to the multidimensional poverty index, which are further having 10 indicators. Now what exactly these are? The first dimension is health, where nutrition and child mortality are the 2 indicators, right? The second dimension is education, where years of schooling and school attendance are the 2 indicators. Let me tell you that you are not required to remember these parts, right? Only the dimension and the indicator is important. Now the third dimension here is the standard of living. And here guys, when you want to have a very good life, so what exactly you want? For example, right now you guys are preparing for the NABARD Grade A officer exam. And for the better preparation, you need to focus on your preparation, right? But if you are hungry, whether you will be able to prepare in a better manner, please tell me in the chat box, yes or no. If you are hungry, will you be able to focus on your preparation? Answer is no, right? So basically, if you are not having the cooking fuel at your home, so you won't be able to have a cooked food, right? So that's why cooking fuel is really very important. After that, sanitation facilities are really very important to live a healthy life. Then water, we just say that jal hi jeevan hai, right? So drinking water is really very important for you. Then electricity guys, like for now you are watching this session over your laptop or your mobile phone or your tablet, but if electricity is not there in your home, will you be able to watch these sessions? Answer is no. So electricity is the right answer. And what guys, if you are not having any house and it is raining outside, right? So you won't be able to use your devices during those rainfalls, right? So that's why a proper housing is really required in order to have a good life. And then some kind of assets are also very important. Like for example, radio, television, telephone, computer, animal cart, bicycle, motorbike or refrigerators. These are the kind of necessities which are really the assets that we are right now having in this era. So yes, assets is also the right part. So here, cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing and assets. These are the 6 indicators of the standard of living. So guys, we have covered here the 10 indicators of living, that is of the multidimensional poverty index. So we are having H, E, L and health, education and living standard. In the living standard, we have seen that cooking fuel is a one indicator. Then we are having sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing and assets, right? In the education, we are having the years of schooling. And what was the next part guys? What was the next part? Years of schooling and the school attendance. School attendance is really very important, right? Then in the health, we have nutrition and child mortality. So these are the important indicators in this multidimensional poverty index. I hope that this is clear to everyone. Let's move on to the next question of the day. So again, the report is the question is on the same report, and you are also required to identify the correct statements. Now quickly go through these statements, try to identify the right answer. First statement says that although rural areas constitute 54.9% of the global population, they account for 83.5%. See guys, a very important finding that rural areas are having only 54.9% of the total population. And when it comes to their proportion in terms of the people who are living in the poverty, so they account for 83.5% of the all multidimensional poor people, right? So this statement is right or wrong? This is absolutely right. Second statement, Children face a higher multidimensional poverty rate at 27.8% than adult, almost twice of the adult. That is, adult का 13.5% है and children का it is 27.8%. So this is also correct here. Third statement, in India, the multidimensional poverty rate increased from 16.4% to 55.1% in the last 15 years. That is from 2005-6 to 2019-21. But my dear friends, we have seen in our multidimensional poverty index report that India has lifted 414 million people from the poverty. Plus, India's multidimensional poverty rate has reduced from 55.1% to 16.4%. That's why third statement is incorrect. Right answer will be option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Option A is the right answer, and I can see here Gopika, DRX, Punit and Shlok, everybody has given the right answer. So my dear friends, please make it correct here, right? So here option A is the right answer. अगर हमें incorrect statement identify करना होता तो हमारा option only 3 होता. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Don't worry, I will be correcting it in the PDF as well. In India, the poverty rate fell from 55.1% to 16.4% in 2019-21, lifting out 414 million people sorry, out of the poverty. So this is absolutely right. Okay, clear to everyone? Guys, let me tell you that this report is very, very important for you from the NABARD Grade Officer exam point of view. So make sure that you are retaining all these dimensions which we have brought here, because these are the most important points which we are required to cover from examination point of view, right? Now let's some additional points also. So this report also says that majority of the poor people are living in the two regions only, that is Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, right? And here also we have seen that across all the poor people who are there in the world, 2/3 of them, that means 64.5% of them are living in the middle income countries. Okay, the fastest reduction in the poverty rate has been seen in the Benin, followed by Cambodia and the United Republic of Tanzania. Apart from that, this year this report has focused on the climate hazards also. For the very first time, they have also taken into account the impact of the climate hazards on the poverty rate of the world. So basically this year we have seen, of the 1.1 billion poor people, 887 million live in areas which are facing at least one of the 4 climate hazards like high heat, drought, floods or air pollution. Okay guys, so I hope that these additional details are quite clear to all of you. So these are some other additional important points that you need to remember from examination point of view from this report. So I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is on the progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, the gender snapshot. Guys, let me tell you that this year this report which has been released on the progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. Yes, we are talking about the same Sustainable Development Goals that we want to achieve by 2030. Can anybody tell me how many Sustainable Development Goals are there? So it is a very basic question. So there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, right? And 2030 is the timeline by which we want to achieve them. So right now what we have done is we have identified the progress, that whether we are into the right direction of attaining these goals or not. And this year basically we have done something different. We have seen the progress in terms of the gender snapshot, whether these Sustainable Development Goals, for example, when it comes to hunger, let's take an example that we have basically we have reduced the level of hunger in the society, right? But this reduction in the level of hunger is only for males and not for the females. So this is not good. For example, education, when we talk about the education, so education ke मामले में भी males are more educated but females are not. So again, this is not a justice, right? So that's why we have identified the progress of SDGs in terms of the gender snapshot. Okay, so here the question is on the progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, the gender snapshot 2025. You are required to go through these statements and try to identify the correct statement here. Okay, the first statement is, since 2010, 10% of women live in extreme poverty globally. Second statement, under a worst case climate scenario. So let me tell you that this report also provides us the different scenarios which can be taking place in the upcoming part of the world, right? So in the worst case climate scenario, 158.3 million additional women and girls could fall into the extreme poverty by 2050. तो 2050 तक इतनी girls they will be falling into the extreme poverty अगर हम worst case climate scenario लेकर चलते हैं तो, ठीक है. Third statement is faster sustainable development goal progress could reduce global female extreme poverty to 9.2% by 2050. Let me tell you here that according to the report, if we are progressing faster for the attainment of the sustainable development goals, this will definitely reduce the global female extreme poverty, but not to 9.2% but to 2.7%, because right now it is 9.2%. This will reduce to 2.7%. So third statement is incorrect. Right answer is option A only. And again I can see here DRX Puneet, Shlok, Gopika, Dream Master, Sabha, Praveen, everybody has given the right answer, option A. Absolutely right. You can see here that in 2025 this poverty rate is 9.2% and this will reduce to 2.7% in 2050. I hope that this question is clear to everyone. Please note down all these important details, because across these you can find the question in the upcoming exam. Okay, and this report is related to the syllabus topics, that's why it is very important. Now another question on the same report, and you need to identify here which of the following statements are incorrect. The question is on the same report, Gender Snapshot 2025, Progress to the Sustainable Development Goals. So please go through the statements, try to identify which of the following statements are incorrect. So guys, let me tell you that in order to answer such kind of questions, you must be having good knowledge about the report. Only then you will be able to answer the question, right? Sometimes you can use the elimination method as well, but see, majorly this is the necessity to answer the question, that you are having good knowledge about the report. Okay, so here the first statement is that 26% of the women experience food insecurity, which is higher than the share among men. Is this right or wrong? This is absolutely right. We have seen according to the report that the women who are experiencing food insecurity, the number of women is more as compared to the number of men. That's why the statement is absolutely right. Between 2000 and 2023, the global maternal mortality ratio declined by 39.3%. So maternal mortality has reduced or increased? It has reduced by 39.3%. So yes, this part is absolutely right. Third statement, women spent 10.9 years in the poor health in 2021 due to the chronic conditions. Again, let me tell you guys, when it comes to the number of years, the timeline for which women is spending in the poor health, that timeline is more for the women as compared to the men. And that shows that in our society, we are giving more focus to the health of the male persons of our households and not on the females, right? That is why this is a stark difference. And let me tell you that all these three statements are right, and the right answer to this question will be what? As we were required to identify incorrect statements, so right answer is option E, that is none of the above. So Gopika has given the right answer. Again, well done Gopika. So that shows that your preparation is really going good with this particular part. Okay. So no Puneet, we are not required to judge the things in this manner, right? So if we are judging is in this manner, so we must have a good trend, right, in our mind, that okay, what was the trend, right? So yes, this is the reduction in the global maternal mortality ratio in the last 2 decades. So that is really a very important part for your upcoming exam. Okay, I hope this is clear, Puneet. So here, let's move on to the next question. His right answer to this question is option E. Again, the question is on the same report. Now we need to identify the statements which are correct. So why exactly we are having such a high number of statement based questions here? Because in the examination you can see at any day that the timeline to solve these questions is very less, and that's why we have to practice solving these kind of lengthy questions, so that in the less amount of time we are able to answer these questions in the exam as well, right? So here there are 3 statements. You need to identify the statements which are correct. The statement number 1 is, girls now not only surpass boys in overall global school enrollment and completion, but this trend has strengthened across multiple education levels worldwide. Girls now not only surpass boys in overall global school enrollment and completion, but this trend has strengthened across multiple education levels worldwide. And even we have seen in one of the areas that girls has surpassed the boys, right? So second statement is that women and girls spend around 2.5 times more hours per day on the unpaid domestic and care. So guys, we all know that in our society we see that women are more involved in those works, in the unpaid domestic works, right, as compared to the men. So this timeline is also correct here. Third statement, as of January 2025, women hold 27.2% of the national parliament seats globally, marking an increase of 4.9 percentage points since 2015, which reflects gradual improvements in the global political representation. Is this statement right or wrong? This is right. So the right answer to this question is option D. Again, Sonia, Gopika, Dream Master, Puneet have given me the right answer to these questions. Option D is the right answer. All the statements are absolutely right. Okay guys, clear to everyone? Now let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is on another important report, that is South Asia Development Update October 2025. Guys, sometimes we also see as economics growth. Economic growth is really very important topic of your syllabus. So that's why these topics are very important, where the economic GDP growth forecasts are being given and given by the major international organizations. Like the South Asia Development Update has been released by which organization? Can anybody tell me that the name of the organization which has released this report? The report has been released by World Bank. Absolutely right. So here the three statements are given. We need to identify correct statements. Statement 1, South Asia's GDP growth is projected to reach 6.6% in 2025. And this will moderate to 5.8% in 2026. So guys, whenever there is a GDP growth forecast, we need to see that what are the various GDP growth forecast values for these different timelines, and then what is the trend as well we need to see, right? Because the question can also be asked on the trend. So for the South Asia, GDP growth is going to reduce from 2025 at 6.6% to 5.8% in 2026. When it comes to India's GDP growth forecast, it has been revised to 6.3% due to the impact of 50% tariff imposed by the United States. Is it right or wrong? This is also right. Third statement, India is expected to remain the world's fastest growing major economy, supported primarily by resilient and sustained consumption growth. Now we need to identify the statements which are correct here. And here people are saying option D, absolutely right. Option D, 1, 2 and 3 is the right answer. All the people who have mentioned option D as the right answer, please mark +1 in your answer sheets that yes, you have got the +1 mark here. Okay, so well done. And now you can see here the GDP growth forecast for the South Asian region, which is at 6.6% for 2025. 5.8% in 2026, as we have seen that it will reduce and then it will again increase to 6.5% in 2027. Coming to the India, in India, you can see here that the GDP growth forecast for 24, 25, 25, 26 will remain the same. But for 26, 27, it will reduce to 6.3%. It will go down to 6.3%. And on the similar lines only the question was being created. And yes, most of you have given me the right answer to this particular question. Well done guys, keep it up. And this shows that your preparation is in the exactly right direction and you are really going well with your preparation. Let's move ahead to the next question. So as per the Asian Development Outlook September 2025, India's gross domestic product is projected to grow at what percent in fiscal year 25 and what percent in fiscal year 2026. So guys, this report has been released by, as we are talking about the Asian Development Outlook, it has been released by Asian Development Bank. Okay, so what is the GDP growth for India for 2025 and 2026? That's what we need to identify here. Can you guys tell me what is the right answer to this question? So yes, absolutely, it's 6.5% is the right answer for both the blanks. So option D is the right answer. Well done guys. Option D is the right answer. You can see for India, it is 6.5% for September, and 25 and 26 ke liye bhi it is 6.5%. Absolutely right. So you guys are really giving a great performance in this session, and that's really a great news for all of you guys, right? Let's move on to the next question. Next question is on India's services sector, insights from employment trends and the state level dynamics. So this report was released by Niti Aayog, and again this is testing you on the two dimensions. The first dimension is that which sector of the India is the backbone of the Indian economy, and the next question is country's second largest employer engaging about what percent in 23-24. So how many workers are the part of this First of all, we need to identify that, and then we need to identify that which sector is the India's backbone of the Indian economy. So guys, you can see here, if you just focus on the question, it is focusing on the services sector, right? So this report will be giving us the major important details about the services sector only, and here services sector is the right answer, which is the backbone of the Indian economy, and this also engages 188 million workers in 23-24. Absolutely, option B is the right answer. So Dream Master and Gopika have given the right answer, option B. Well done, guys. Let's move ahead to the next question. Next question is from the India's services sector, but this report is different, guys. These are the insights from GVA and state level dynamics. The previous one was employment trends. This is on the GVA trend, that is gross value addition trends. So you have to first of all identify that which organization has released the report, and it highlights in 24-25 that this particular sector accounted 55% of the India's gross value addition. So India के GVA के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा किसका contribution है, ये हमें identify करना है. Let's see who will give me the right answer to this question. Question number on the India services sector, insights from GVA trends and state level dynamics. What's it? So here, this is the report which has been released by Niti Aayog, and it is again secondary sector only, which accounts for 55% of the India's gross value addition. So here option C is the right answer. Sonia, Gopika and Dream Master have given the right answer. Well done, guys. So that's all from this particular report. Now let's move on to the next report. The next report is on State Mining Readiness Index. So State Mining Readiness Index was been released recently, and this report basically mentions that you guys all know that in various states of our country, mining activities are taking place, right? Mining activities are being conducted, but how exactly the auctions for those mines are taking place, how exactly the state is having a plans for the development of these mines and the related mining sector, and whether they are following all the good practices or not. So across all these areas, we are assessing these states and union territories, right? So here three statements are been given on this particular report. You need to identify which of the following statements are correct here. Okay. So statement 1 is that it has been released by Ministry of Mines. So in our country, it is the Ministry of Mines only which is having the responsibility of the mines. So option statement 1 is absolutely right. Statement 2, it evaluates states on the 4 indicators. What are the 4 indicators? Auction performance and sustainable mining, including, see guys, here it is mentioned including. Auction performance is there, sustainable mining is there. Second statement is also right. Now the third statement is Madhya Pradesh, Goa and Punjab occupy the top positions in the category A, B and C. Guys, let me tell you that this report divides the states into the 3 categories. That is one state, category A, which is having rich minerals, category B having moderate, and category C having low. So here absolutely all these states are been mentioned correctly with their respective positions. So option C is all 3 is also right. So right answer to this question is being given by Sonia, that is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Absolutely right. And the 4 indicators across which the report assesses the Indian states and union territories, it includes auction performance, early mine operationalization, like when the tender has been given, in how much time the operationalization of the mine is taking place. Third thing is exploration, whether the state is interested in exploring more mines or not. And then sustainable mining, so whether we are taking the sustainable practices, whether we are adopting the sustainable practices or not. Okay. Now when it comes to the important rankings, that which are the top performer states across the different categories. So guys, just remember MP, G and P. So that in the category A, which is a mineral rich state, Madhya Pradesh is on the top, followed by Rajasthan and Gujarat. Category B is the moderate resources, where Goa is on the top, followed by UP and Assam. Category C is of the low endowment, where Punjab is on the top, followed by Uttarakhand and Tripura. Okay. So these are the most important rankings as per the State Mining Readiness Index 2025. Are you guys getting the clarity now? Guys, are you really enjoying the session? Please tell me in the chat box. If yes, please give me a thumbs up that yes, we are understanding the key important details of the reports. We are understanding across what dimensions we need to cover them. We are understanding the key important details that we need to cover from the examination point of view from these reports? Let me tell you very frankly, if you will be covering the reports across these dimensions, definitely you are going to have a good scoring capability if a report related question is being asked in the exam. Okay, so thank you for giving me the responses in the chat box, and that yes, you are, all of you are really enjoying the session. So guys, let's move ahead to the next part of the session. Let's move to the next question. Now we are talking about the Crime in India 2023 report, and this report has been released by National Crime Record Bureau. Okay, so this report was released recently, and this report assessed the states and union territories across India and identified that which is the most safe city in our country and which is the most unsafe city in our country. Okay, so here are the 5 options before you. You are required to identify in which city is ranked the safest city and which is the most unsafe city of the country. Options are given: Hyderabad, Delhi, Pune, Surat, Mumbai, Jaipur, Kolkata, Kochi and Coimbatore, Patna. What is the right answer, guys? Can anybody tell me that? So yes, right answer is option D, that is Kolkata and कोची. सो गाइज यहाँ पर आपको कैसे याद रखना है इसको, सेफेस्ट सिटीज की बात हो रही है, ठीक है. सो देखिए दोस्तों, जब भी हम अनसेफ फील करते हैं, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वी डू, वी कॉल आवर फ्रेंड्स, वी कॉल आवर पेरेंट्स, वी कॉल एनीवन हु कैन कम टू अस फॉर आवर हेल्प, राइट. सो वो वाली जगह जहां पर कॉल नहीं कटती, जहां पर कॉल लग जाती है, दैट इज कोलकाता, राइट. सो कोलकाता इज द सेफेस्ट सिटी इन आवर कंट्री. For the 4th consecutive year, Kolkata is on the top, followed by Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai and Coimbatore. Okay. Now when it comes to the top unsafe cities, then that is Kochi. Kochi is the place which is the most unsafe city of the country, followed by Delhi, Surat, Jaipur and Patna. Okay. So these are the most important things, guys, that we are required to retain and remember from examination point of view. We have covered the releasing body, we have covered the top performers, worst performers, safest city in the country, most unsafe city in the country. We have covered everything. Yes, Stream Master, everything is okay. Yeah, I can see in the chat box. So Divya Ranjan, Sabha Praveen, Gopika, Dream Master, everybody has given the right answer as option D. Well done, guys. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is on the Global Pension Index 2025. So guys, let me tell you that these questions that I have framed here, these are only on the basis of the PYQs trends, that what kind of questions are being asked from the reports in this particular exam, right. So Global Pension Index 2025 is another important report which has been released. You need to identify here which of the following countries does not belong to the top 5 countries. देखिए दोस्तों, क्वेश्चन पर फोकस करना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. क्वेश्चन की क्या डिमांड है? इट सेज दैट विच डज नॉट बिलोंग टू द टॉप 5 कंट्रीज, वो हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है विद द बेस्ट पेंशन सिस्टम वर्ल्ड वाइड. So Netherlands, Iceland, Denmark, Singapore, none of the above. What is the right answer? Let me tell you here. According to the Global Pension Index 2025, I hope that everybody of you have seen this particular question completely right, and you have analyzed that. Okay, what is the right answer? Let's see who will give me the right answer. So till now, yes, I am getting the options in the chat box that yes, option E, absolutely right, as all these 4 countries are the top 4 countries in the Global Pension Index, and option E is none of the above is the right answer, because you can see on the top it is Netherlands, then Iceland, Denmark, Singapore and Israel is at the 5th position of this particular report, Global Pension Index. Absolutely right. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Now comes to the another important question, that whenever there is a ranking, what is India's rank, it becomes very important. And here, as per the Global Pension Index 2025, India has secured a score of 43.8, but what was India's position in the overall rating? That's what we need to identify here. So guys, India's rank is very important for every report that you are covering, right? So make sure that you are covering the top performer, worst performer and India's position, because these are the 3 most probable questions which can be asked. And in the top performer, you need to remember top 5 performers of that particular index or the report. And here, what was the India's rank in the Global Pension Index? It was 52nd position. Absolutely right. So with a score of 43.8, India was on the 52nd position under the grade D. तो ग्रेड डी के अंदर इंडिया था राइट अगर हम बात करते हैं इंडिया की अक्रॉस द थ्री पैरामीटर्स एडिक्वेसी सब इंडेक्स सस्टेनेबिलिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी दीज आर द थ्री एरियाज अक्रॉस which we assess the countries, right? So here India's score has been mentioned, but let me tell you that India's grade was E in the adequacy, D in the sustainability and C in the integrity. So these are the three grades that India have received in this particular index. Absolutely this is the right answer. Okay, clear to everyone? Let's move ahead to the next question. So now the question is on the world's safest banks 2025 report. So which banks are the most safest one, right? So first question is that how many Indian banks were included in the list of the world's top 100 safest banks? So guys, a very important question from this particular report. And let me tell you here that there are so many people who are going to answer this question incorrectly. The question is on a very easier lines. That is world's safest banks 2025 report. How many Indian banks were included in the list of world's top 100 safest banks? कितने banks हैं इंडिया के? I have seen that two people have given option D as the right answer. Let's wait for others as well. Let's see what they answer. Guys, please ensure that you are mentioning the answer in the chat box, because only then you will be having a learning experience in this session. Otherwise, just watching the session and sitting relaxed and laid back, this is not going to help you out, right? So do practice solving the MCQs, and when we are bringing these questions for all of you here only, try to do it here only. Okay, so I can see here a lot of people have given their answers and so many guesses, but none of them is right, because let me tell you that there was not a single Indian bank which was there in the world's top 100 safest banks, and that's why right answer is option E. So option E is the right answer, and there was not a single bank which was there. So Gopika has given the right answer to this question, that is option E. When we talk about the safest bank in Asia, guys, it is DBS Bank. Safest bank in India is the State Bank of India. आपका और हमारा अपना State Bank of India, right? But India का कोई भी बैंक top 100 में नहीं था. That's why option E is the right answer. And now, guys, let's now discuss that which is the world's safest bank. Which bank secured the first position in the list of the world's safest bank according to the world's safest bank 2025 report? So 5 options are given. Let's see who will give me the right answer to this question. Zürcher Cantonal Bank, BNG Bank, L Bank, Renton Bank of Germany, or KfW Germany. Let me tell you that, let me give you a small hint that it is a German bank which is on the top. And yes, option E is the right answer here, guys. Not option A, it's option E, that is KfW Germany. KfW Germany has topped this ranking for the 16th year in a row, and that's why this is the right answer. So you can see here that the top 5 rankings are being dominated by the German banks only, right? Like KfW, Renton Bank, L Bank, all these are from the Germany itself, right? So option E is the right answer to this question. It was a surprising question for all of you. Both these questions were surprising, right? I can see here that very less number of people have given these 2 questions correctly. So that means you are required to go through this report holistically from examination point of view. Now, guys, let's move on to another easier question now, that is on the Henley Passport Index 2025. So which basically tells us the power of a passport for that particular country, right? Where you can go visa free. So the country that ranks first globally in the passport strength is dash, while India is placed at the dash position. So here you need to identify which country is on the top in this rankings and what is the position of India. What is the right answer? So guys, let me tell you that most of you must be having a wake up call today that okay, these are also the lines across which we need to cover these reports. और अगर हमने reports की हुई थी, क्या हम आंसर कर पाए हैं? अगर नहीं कर पाए हैं, so कोई टेंशन वाली बात नहीं है. Just we need to identify that okay, what is that loophole? क्यों हम आंसर नहीं कर पाए? क्या रिविजन की कमी थी? क्या मुझे नहीं आता था या मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं? ये 3 चीजें हो सकती हैं, right? So please identify what is your reason. Don't tell it to me. Tell it to yourself. Identify and start working on it, because it's just, you know, less than a month is left for your NABARD grade officer exam. Let's not waste this opportunity. Okay. Option C, Singapore and 85 is the right answer to this question. Gopika, Dreammaster, Joy, Sonia, Divya Ranjan, Sabha, Parveen, everybody has given the right answer. So here Singapore is on the top with 193. But when it comes to the second position, it's South Korea, Japan, Germany. Then there were 5 countries on the 4th position. And guys, when it comes to the India's position, India was on the 85th position with 57 destinations, and India's rank has gone down by 5 places. And at the bottom of the index, guys, what exactly is the name of that country? That is Afghanistan. Afghanistan is at the bottom of the index at 106th position. So please make sure that you are remembering these details from exam point of view. Okay. So this question was on the very easier line, but see, we have asked you two important things. What is India's position and what exactly is the name of the country which is on the top. Now let's move ahead to the next question, guys, and the question is on the Sustainable Trade Index 2025, and you need to identify the correct statements here. Here the first statement is, first of all, the organization which has released the report, that is IMD and Heinrich Foundation. Second statement, which country has topped, that is UK, ending New Zealand's 3-year streak at number 1. Third statement is India is placed on 23rd position while Myanmar has finished at the bottom. Let me see who will give me the right answer to this question. So first statement is right or wrong, it is right. Second statement is right or wrong, it is right. Third statement is also right. Right answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. You can see here, according to the Sustainable Trade Index 2025, UK is on the top and it has ended the New Zealand's streak of being on top for the consecutive 3 years, right? So अब New Zealand को पीछे कर दिया है. New Zealand is on the second position. On the third, it's Australia, Singapore and South Korea. Just remember, UNAS, these are the 5 countries of the Sustainable Trade Index 2025. UK, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, South Korea. When it comes to India, India was placed on the 23rd position, and when it comes to the country at the bottom, it is Myanmar at the bottom. Okay, so all the important dimensions are already been covered from this report. Let's move ahead to the next important question, guys, and let's see who will give me the right answer to this question. With reference to the World University Rankings 2026, consider the following institutions and identify which one of them does not belong to the top 5 institutions. कौन सा institution है जो top 5 का part नहीं है as per the rankings. ठीक है? You need to identify not included in the top 5. This is a challenge for all of you. Let's see who will give me the right answer. आपको 5 options दिए गए हैं, 1 and 2, 2, 3 and 4, 4 only, 4, 5 and 6 and none of the above. Let's see who will give me the right answer. At times when such kind of questions are there, we just see that yes, okay, there must be something to this particular question. There must be some answer, right? But let me tell you that we have to be very, very careful while we attempt any question and mark our answer in the exam, because this is going to not just give you the marks but also your selection as well. Okay? Let's see who will give me the right answer. So there are 6 institutions here, that is University of Oxford, MIT, Princeton University, University of Cambridge, Harvard University, Stanford University. So the first loophole in this question is that they have mentioned that top 5 institutions में कौन सा नहीं है, right? And there are the name of 6 institutions. तो पहला जो doubt हमारा जाता है वो ये जाता है, and please correct me if I am wrong, guys. Okay, please correct me if I am wrong. Did you thought this, that there are 5 institutions and in the statement there are 6 institutions, so there must be at least one institution which is not the part, right? That's the natural calling that we get, right? But let me tell you guys, there is also possibility now that 2 organizations are on the same position in any ranking. This can be the possibility, and this is what the case is here also. So here I can see only Sonia and Dream Master given the right answer, that is option E, none of the above, because all of them are the top 5 institutions according to the World University Rankings report. Absolutely right. You can see here University of Oxford, MIT, Princeton, University of Cambridge, Harvard and Stanford, all these are the 6 institutions are in the top 5. You can see here in 2026 there are 2 institutions which are on the 3rd position, and that's why there is no 4th position, and there are 2 institutions on the 5th position, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. So this kind of question can also be asked in the exam, but you have to be very, very careful while answering such kind of questions. They can be tricky, they can be easier as well, right? So I hope that this question must have given you some learning points for your preparation. Okay, now let's move ahead. So when it comes to the India, again, the institution from India which was on the top was ISC Bengaluru, and it was in the range of 201 to 250, and that's the only university on the top. And then we have a Siemens Jamia Millia Islamia in the 401 to 500, and another institution, that is Shulini University of Biotechnology and Management Sciences, on this particular position. Absolutely, this is the right answer. That's really good. Now, my dear friends, let's move on to the next question. The next question is on. It's really great to see that yes, you have got some good learning from that question. Now the next question to again challenge you. So as per the Global Financial Centers Index, 38 financial centers that secured the first position globally is dash, while India's top ranked financial center, that is Gift City, is placed at the dash position. So here it is asking you to identify the two things. First, the place which is on the top, the Global Financial Center which is on the top, and then from India, the Gift City is on the top, but at which position it is on the top, that's what we need to identify here. So yes, I can see in the chat box option D, people are saying option D, bilkul sahi jawab. So New York is on the top and Gift City is on the 43rd position. Absolutely right. Gift City is on the 43rd position, New York is on the top, and then 46 पे Mumbai है, 54 पे New Delhi है. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. And Buenos Aires is on at the bottom at 120th position. Absolutely right. So the people who have marked option D, please mark +1 in your answer sheet that yes, you have earned this +1 by solving the question correctly here. So my dear friends, that was the last question of the today's session, and with this we are just done with all the important reports and indices for the month of October 2025. Across the most important lines, we have covered all these important reports and indices, and that's all from the today's session. I believe that today's session was really useful and fruitful to all of you. It must have been insightful for all of you, because we have here placed some of the questions which were trickier in the nature, which can definitely challenge you. And if they will be in the exam now, you want to be get challenged. Why so? Because you have already prepared, you have already attempted, you have already practiced such kind of questions in the today's session. So my dear friends, now please ensure that you are revising this particular session in a detailed manner from the PDF which you will get the Telegram channel, and the Telegram channel link. To join the Telegram channel link, you have to click on the link which is given in the description of this particular session. Okay, my dear friends, I hope that this is clear to everyone. So that's all from the today's session. I hope that today's session was really useful and fruitful to all of you. If there are any queries in your mind, please feel free to ask in the chat box. Otherwise, we can conclude the session. So if you are having any queries, you can, apart from the session, guys, you can also share your queries. If anything which is impacting you in doing your preparation for the upcoming exam, please feel free to share your queries by calling our team at 814-620-7241, or you can also call us or share your concern to us at hello@edutap.co.in. So we will be definitely identifying and assessing your doubt, the problem that you are having, and we will try to identify the best possible solution for the same. So thank you, Dream Master, for your kind words, and all the people for joining us. It was really great to have all of you here, that you find out your time and you came here to attend the session. It's really great. Now I will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.